countries that came together and gave money to uh, President Akufo-Addo to start, but they came out vehemently disagreeing or debunking the idea that it was these countries who gave out the money. No, it's just money from the state. They are constructing highways, bigger roads, so that within the sub-region, any country that passes through Ghana, they will be able to um, pass well. So when you are coming from Accra to Cape Coast, see that they have expanded the road. Not that it's only for the benefit of Ghana, but those who are going to Cote d'Ivoire, who are passing through Cape Coast and getting to Takrady and going to Elubu and Cote d'Ivoire, it means that the road will be vast. And they are doing all these because they want to integrate with other countries. Kumasi too, they are also expanding the road from northern part of the country. They are expanding the road so that they link up with Burkina. All these parts of infrastructure development. Some people were even arguing that why is it that we still don't have the railway system linking all the countries in the sub-region? Okay, so these countries come together and form regional blocks because they believe that when they do that, they will be able to benefit more. For instance, you hear people even from Nigeria now enjoying banku and tilapia. At first, Nigerians wouldn't want to enjoy hot pepper, but now they are enjoying banku and tilapia. They are even making TikTok videos on shito, that they can use shito, Ghanaian shito, to eat bread and all that. So if these people are coming together and Ghanaians, we can prepare sumptuous jollof and sweet shito, then you see that the economy will be boosting. Okay, same if the EBA that Nigerians are preparing, we are able to also incorporate in our society. It means that when Nigerians come around, they will also enjoy their favorite food, and all will boost the economy within the bloc. Okay. So one of the types of regional integration is through trade agreements. So countries within a region may form trade agreements to reduce barriers to trade among themselves. So this could involve the creation of free trade area, customs union, common markets, and economic union, each with increasing levels of economic integration and cooperation. So one of the trade policies, okay, of ECOWAS is that people should be able to move across the borders freely with goods and services. Okay, so that's why we have a flower border. People move. Once you pay your duties and your taxes, you can move across the flower border, and then you go to Togo. Okay, the same thing. You can move through Benin and go to Nigeria on road on road. Okay, so that is one of um, the levels types and levels of regional integration through trade agreements. If they are able to agree in these terms, then it means that there is some kind of collaboration and integration. When we talk about integration, like joining together or forming alliances or agreements. In the ECOWAS policies to trade policies, they have also agreed that anybody within the sub-region who comes from the country within the sub-region, you can trade within the country, any of the ECOWAS country, based on the policies of that country. Okay. So that, for instance, in Ghana, we have the policy that when you're a foreigner and you come here, you have to trade in wholesale, whereas the natives in Ghana will trade in the retail. So that's why there are some clashes between Nigerians and Ghanaians, that Ghanaians are complaining that Nigerians are taking their shops. But if you are not trading in those items, I mean, they will front Ghanaians to open the shops and they will be bringing the materials. In this case, it's the Ghanaian who has opened the shop. Okay, and then these Nigerians are bringing the materials to the shop. A lot of phone accessories that has scattered all over the country are owned by Nigerians. They are owned by Nigerians. They are bold. They can commit money and send to China to bring these accessories, and they stab them in the shops. Whereas Ghanaians will be sitting at the shop. When we come, we have few Nigerians there, but the one who receive you will be a Ghanaian, but the owner will be a Nigerian. Yeah, yeah, because they are bold to commit money. And Ghanaians sometimes they say they price their goods uh, very high. When the Nigerians also come around, they try as much as possible to reduce the prices, and that attracts a lot of people to buy their goods. So Ghanaians, you don't have to um, blame these Alata people because they know how to sell. They reduce the prices, sell it fast, and then go and bring them more and sell. So if you are going to price your goods, say 20 cedis, you sell it at 15 cedis. Within the week, you go and bring more goods, whereas you will still be standing by your 20 cedis. You had gotten more profits. Okay, yeah. So you have to also learn from these Nigerians. They are smart too. One of the levels of integration is also common policies. Regional integration often involves the harmonization or coordination of policies among member states, such as fiscal policies, monetary policies, and regulations to facilitate smoother interactions and create a common unified economic environment. Once upon a time, we've been hearing about eco, okay, the eco currency within the ECOWAS sub-region, but it has not materialized. Okay, I wish that this country leaders will come together again. We used to be seeing Nigeria, Ghana, and other 16 countries coming together during summits, conferences, and proposing ideas. But we don't hear from them again. If really they want to integrate the regions or the countries, then it means we can have common currency. And one disadvantage too is that the Francophones are still being controlled by the French. It's just recent that Mali and Burkina and Niger, they have disassociated themselves from the French country through coup d'etat. Okay, and they are forming the Sahel region. And even that, President Mahama is championing the cause that we shouldn't ban them or disown them. We should rather bring them on board because they are doing good for their citizens. Okay, so now ECOWAS, instead of 16, now 3 has left. So it's left to 13. Okay, and we shouldn't use any policy or something to ban them. Rather, we should bring them on board, despite the fact that they are separating to form the Sahel. What if we also continue to trade with them, form alliances, and in that case, we continue to boost our economy? When the Niger, they organized this coup and ECOWAS military wanted to invade the country, you saw the tension to the extent that even our traders were unable to go to Niger to bring the onions. They were producing a lot of onions, and Burkina too. We were unable to bring tomatoes. So if we don't come together and collaborate, then the high chance for the economic difficulty that the countries will face is high. Okay, it's high because there are goods that they produce in mass quantities, where we Ghanaians, though we have the land, but because of our culture, you don't want to. A lot of them who don't want to engage in this farming activity, so we go to other countries and then buy the goods and come down. So if we don't integrate well and and have peaceful agreements, common policies, then it means that there are goods that we may not be able to get from them. Mm. Another level of or type of integration is through infrastructure development, collaborative efforts in building infrastructure, including transportation networks, energy grids, and communication systems can promote connectivity and facilitate the movement of goods and services as well as people within the region. Okay. Once upon a time, we also heard that Nigeria gave us gas. Okay, we have the gas pipe passing through the Atlantic on the shores of Ghana. The Nigerians are supplying us gas from Nigeria. Okay, all these things are development that is because of the integration that we have. We think that if we had been loggerheads with Nigeria, they would have given us this facility to enjoy. No, they wouldn't. So it's through integration that these services are provided, and it's part of the infrastructure development. We sometimes hear that the gas, the tubes are leaking, and so sometimes they suspend the supply and then do some kind of rehabilitation. It's part of the infrastructure development. We also have political cooperation. Some regional integration initiatives also include political collaboration, aiming to address common challenges, okay, promote stability, and foster development relationships among member states. As I mentioned, political cooperation, when President Mahama was sworn in, he invited Burkinabe President Touareg. So you see, Touareg came and the people were making noise. That's why are we inviting a military leader to visit Ghana, and that he was even having a gun. What if he used a gun to shoot? So you see, these are political cooperation. Despite the fact that he's a military man, Mahama saw the importance of having him because we still collaborate with them through trade. A lot of the tomatoes that we have in our markets are from Burkina. Okay, so there's no way you will not collaborate with them. Okay, so it's part of the political game. So once the president is being sworn in and he was invited, it's part of politics. People will talk about it, all that is part of the integration. So this political cooperation can involve joint efforts in conflict resolution, security cooperation, and diplomatic initiatives. We've also been privy to refugees influx in the country. A lot of people moved from Cote d'Ivoire to settle in Ghana during Alassane Ouattara's political escape, and then Sierra Leone as well as Liberia. When the wars took over, we had a lot of um, refugees entering Ghana. Okay. And Ghanaian government set up Bujumbura, the central region, to accommodate these refugees. So eventually, when the war was over, and through international agreement, those who are ready to go to Liberia went, and those who had already married Ghanaians had themselves integrated into the economy. It means that they will leave Bujumbura and then settle with their families. So now Bujumbura camp is banded. So we don't have Bujumbura camp anymore. Though we have the area called Bujumbura, all right, but we don't have refugees staying there anymore because there's no more refugees or there's no more war in these said countries, Sierra Leone and Liberia and Cote d'Ivoire. And we also formed ECOMOC, okay, this military group from ECOWAS. They intervened so that these wars in Sierra Leone and Liberian jurisdiction stopped. And it's through this regional integration that we were able to form these forces to end the war. There is also the issue of social and cultural integration. Regional integration can encompass efforts to promote cultural exchange, social ties, and people to people connections among member states, fostering a shared regional identity and understanding. So sometimes when we are celebrating our Afashe or even Obdra festival, Akwasidai festival, and all that, we have a lot of people moving from other countries within the sub-region coming to witness. Okay, same when they are also celebrating, they invite us. Recently, we heard President Mahama being sworn in as a chief of Ife. Okay, it's part of the integration. Okay, it's part of the integration. That is social and cultural integration. So that we also see people on TikTok saying that, oh, so Mahama is from Nigeria because he was raised there. So you should educate their president, Tinubu, to also behave like he's doing to support his people in Ghana. All these things is part of the peaceful coexistence between Nigerians and Ghanaians. Okay. We also have a lot of Togolese who are in this country in the business of constructing houses. They are good when it comes to masonry work. So a lot of people who wants to build, they go to Togo and bring these artisans. A lot of them are around. And then they will design your houses for you nicely. They are very good when it comes to masonry work. Okay, so the goals of regional integration typically include boosting economic growth, enhancing competitiveness, increasing political stability, and improving living standards and addressing shared challenges more effectively through collective action. Okay, yes.
Look, please,
What is wrong
can we
with
see
video?
Panafest? Yes, can we see Panafest as an example of social or cultural integration? Panafest.
Yes, yes. We also have Panafest. People coming all over to celebrate Panafest with us. It's part of it. It's part of it because though Panafest attracts a lot of people globally, a lot of people in the sub-region also come together to ensure that they celebrate with us. Yes. Okay, so um, any question as Gideon started, can we have a short break and then we ask questions for at least 5 minutes and then add up? As this is just skeletal, so we use the period to add up, add more examples for us to understand more. Any question, any clarification, any addition?
Okay, Doc. So, as my good brother Gideon asked, what about the year of return program?
Yes, it's part of it because we have a lot of diasporans also naturalizing in Nigeria. We have a lot of them also naturalizing in Togo. So within the sub-region, if we organize the year of return, those people can also be part of it. So it's part of the integration.
Okay, Doc. Doc, so the AFCON competition, those football competition, they are all parts of the integration, right? In terms of sports.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
because it's within the sub-region, within the, so we have the ECOWAS, we have the African Union. Okay, African Union is also part of the regional integration. It's a bloc comprising all Africans. Okay, so it's also part of the integration. So the AFCON is a way of integrating the Africans, the countries within the continent. Any more
So, Doc,
questions? Any?
please,
Yes, yes.
can we have an integration between two countries like Nigeria and Ghana? Like Ghana and Nigeria having movie collaboration, acting movie, and Ghanaians, some Ghanaians going to Nigeria to act movies, and also some Nigerians coming to Ghana to act movies. Can we have a cooperation or integration between two countries? Only two countries. That is, I don't know if I should call it bilateral integration. Can we have that one?
Yes, we have it. Even now, the Sahel group, they are only three. Those block up there, Burkina, Mali, and then Niger. They are only three, and they are forming their own group. So it can happen. It can happen that two countries can say that the rest are not serious. Let's disassociate ourselves from them. But normally they drive on the ideology of Nkrumah. Nkrumah saying that we have to be united as Africans. And so sometimes it's the leaders will try as much as possible not to disintegrate more. Okay, so that is why when Mahama said that the Sahel region, though ECOWAS is saying that because they have overthrown their democratically elected presidents, ECOWAS will not want to have anything to do with them through the agreement because most of the ECOWAS countries are democratically elected countries. And people are saying that they cannot say that. Even now we have realized that a lot of development take place when we have military leaders. So the olden days that we said that if you take over from a military or you take over a democratically elected government, then there are sanctions. They are rethinking about it. They are rethinking about it because they didn't have development under military rule, but now we have massive development under military rule. And so they are rethinking how to, I mean, go about that agreement that is signed that most of the countries must follow democratically elected governance system. Okay. And we've seen that President Mahama is championing that cause, that we should bring the Sahel region together, the ECOWAS, so that we all develop because we are Africans. In fact, even if it's difficult to have the United States of Africa, we shouldn't continue to disintegrate. Okay, so if based on agreements, some people have forfeited those agreements, then at least you, the leaders, that's why we voted for you, reasonable people. Think about it. Think about it and ensure that we all come together to, to, to lead, not necessarily because the person is a military ruler. You are not going to collaborate. Meanwhile, this military ruler is doing well for his or her people. And interestingly, they are also someone who say ditching this country. They are controlling their resources. And so if these leaders are now building schools, constructing roads, constructing manufacturing plants and other things and serving the people, why not collaborate with them so that we improve our development in the region? Not necessarily saying that the situation like that. Okay. So let's look at some of the examples of regional integration. We have the European Union. We've heard about the European Union. We also have the Association of Southeast Asian Nations. Okay. Association of Southeast Asian Nations. Okay. We are talking about Asian countries. North Korea and Asia, Japan and what have you. And then we have including China and what have you. And then we have the Economic Community of West African States, our own, ECOWAS. And then we have the Southern African Development Community, those in the southern part, South Africa, Botswana, and what have you, Zimbabwe, and what have you. And then we have the North American Free Trade Agreement, NAFTA, now replaced by the United States, Mexico, Canada Agreement. Now, the NAFTA now is United States, Mexico, Canada Agreement. So have you seen the United States, Mexico, Canada, they have agreed to form a bloc. Okay, so with this agreement, they will definitely agree with Mexico how the immigration situation can be kept. Okay, so all these things, they have different agreements that they will sign. Okay, so successful regional integration requires commitment, consensus building among member states, effective governance structures, and mechanisms to address disparities and concerns among different countries within the region. Okay. So that is that. That is why when you agree with a country that you are going to do this, you are going to do that, and you forfeit that agreement, is bound to be sanctions. And sanctions are clearly stated in the agreement. And so if you forfeit the agreement and somebody invade your country, it's part of the agreement. And the international community must take negotiations, diplomacy to ensure that the agreement that one party failed to agree on to, you don't have to just invade like Israel and Hamas and then Russia and Ukraine. So based on these agreements that these people have formed, the international community cannot just send troops, military troops, to the area and say that we are going to intervene, because there are so many agreements that these people have signed. So you have to look at the agreements and see who went wrong. Okay. There are some theories and models that explain and guide the regional integration processes, each offering different perspectives on how and why regions integrate. Okay. Some prominent theories and models of regional integration include neo-functionalism. Okay. This theory proposed by Haas suggests that regional integration starts with cooperation in specific functional areas such as trade or economic policies, creating a spillover effect leading to further integration in other regions. So new functionalism emphasizes the role of supernatural institutions in promoting integration and fostering a sense of community among member states. Okay. Regional integration starts with cooperation in specific functional areas such as trade or economic policies. So look at how the ECOWAS are operating. Now we have even ECOWAS passports. Okay, ECOWAS passports. Now there is a policy that when you are coming to Ghana and you are within Africa, you don't need a visa. This is a policy, and under new functionalism, because they want economic policies, they want to ensure that trade move on smoothly. Okay, so that they all enjoy. At first, when you want to come to Ghana, you need a visa. Even when you are coming from South Africa, you need a visa. Now, when you are going to South Africa, it's visa on arrival. Visa on arrival. When you go there, it's the same thing. I think Botswana too, visa on arrival. So you can just sit in a plane and go to South Africa, and it's where you get there before they give you the visa. It's not necessarily that. But when you are in the US and you want to go to South Africa, you need visa from the US embassy to grant you the visa before you can travel through the US airports before you go to South Africa. But in Ghana, visa on arrival, you can sit in a plane, go to South Africa. It's there that they will give you the airport, that they will give you the visa. So you see, that is how they are doing it. So it's some form of institutions coming together to ensure that everything is smooth in the bloc. And then we have intergovernmentalism. Intergovernmentalism focuses on the role of national governments as primary actors in regional integration. Okay, this theory suggests that integration progresses through intergovernmental negotiations and agreements with member states retaining significant control over the process. So when we talk about intergovernmentalism, we are talking about government to government. So for instance, we have commissioners in the various countries within the blocks. We have commissioners in Nigeria, we have commissioners in Cote d'Ivoire, we have commissioners in whatever country that is within the ECOWAS. And so if you want to have any interaction, it's government to government, the governmental, that is why sometimes the foreign minister will say that I will contact the diplomats in maybe Nigeria so that the kidnappers, okay, the kidnappers that were sent to Nigeria, it's intergovernmental. You can't just enter Nigeria and say that I'm going to retrieve my citizens. No, it should be intergovernmental so that they will also use their institutions in that country, use yours, and then you have save or secure the people who were kidnapped. So Ghana government and Nigerian government, they will collaborate in case of anything, and it's based on intergovernmentalism. It means that it's only through the government that can ensure that all these things are done well. Cannot say that, oh, I have a friend in Nigeria and the friend can help us to retrieve or secure the people who were kidnapped. No, it should be between the government of Nigeria and the government of Ghana. Okay, when you do that, then it becomes so successful. That's why we say that this suggests that integration process through intergovernmental negotiations and agreements with member states. Okay, member states retaining significant control over the process. Okay. So that sometimes to when it came to sending some people who came to Ghana with illegal documents, and the Ghana government was deporting them, they had to liaise with the said country. So if they were deporting people to Niger, it means that the government of Niger and Ghana should collaborate and see how best they can send these people to Niger. When you do that, you continue to maintain the cordial relationship. You can't just put these Nigerians to in Ghana buses and send them there and dump them there. No, there should be collaboration. There should be agreement. I'm sending your people to you. This is what they have done. A lot of them are going around the highways and removing metals that we've used to construct the road. And so we have arrested them, and we cannot allow them to stay in the same country that we are building. Okay, they are using these iron rods as scraps, and so we cannot stay with them. A lot of them are also begging on the street. We cannot continue to see these Nigerians begging on the streets. We have arrested a lot of them, and we are bringing them to Niger because that's the country they say they are from. When you do that, and then the state institutions, the right institutions step in and then give the authority that, okay, negotiate with this department to ensure that our people arrive in Niger safely. That is very good. You are also ensuring that the integration is smooth, so that anytime you want to go to Niger with proper documents, with traders going to Niger to buy onions and other things, there wouldn't be any conflict because the right thing has been done, even when it comes to deportation. Okay. There is also the issue of liberal intergovernmentalism. This theory proposed by Andrew Moravec combines intergovernmental and liberal theories. Okay. It emphasizes the importance of state preferences, asymmetry in bargaining power among states, and the role of domestic politics and institutions in shaping regional integration. Okay, so we are talking about recently we've learned about liberalism. You all remember we've learned about liberalism. And so if we are combining liberal intergovernmentalism, it means that we are talking about having free access to both countries. If two countries or if 6 countries are engaged in integration, then it means that once there is the state getting involved in these liberal policies, then it's good. We are combining having other multinationals in the country. Okay, so that even if you want to have MTN is in South Africa, the head is South Africa. MTN is also having a branch in Nigeria. MTN is having a branch in Ghana. And because we believe in liberalism, okay, if like some George is doing with DSTV in Nigeria is charging less compared to DSTV in Ghana charging high. Okay, so if we want integration, economic integration to be smooth, it means that Sam George, who is also the Minister for Communication, will also liaise with the Minister for Communication in Nigeria and see the agreement that DSTV, which is a non-governmental organization operating within the countries, and see how best they can negotiate so that the people in Ghana will not be so shortchanged. Why is it that DSTV is charging less in Nigeria, but DSTV in Ghana is charging more? Sit down and then Jojo to see how best negotiation can go on for the countries to enjoy. And we talk about new regionalism theory. This theory addresses the changing nature of regional integration in the context of globalization. It suggests that economic factors do not solely drive regional integration, but are also influenced by global politics, okay, security concerns, cultural ties, and the need for collective action to address global challenges. Okay, so North Atlantic Treaty Organization, where we have the NATO comprising many countries in the western side. Okay, it's not only about security, it's talking about also the humanitarian need of the people, the government. So if there is hardship in the country, does it mean that it's only states to states? What are they planning to do? So apart from government, what about culture? What about military? Okay, what about politics? That is new regionalism theory. Okay. First, we talk about intergovernmentalism, meaning only governments must do the integration. But the new regionalism theory is talking about cultural issues, security, politics, and everything that comes with it. Okay. And we have another one also, complex interdependence. This guy, scholar Robert and Joseph Nye, suggests that regional integration occurs within a framework of interdependence, okay, where multiple actors, including states, international organizations, non-state actors, engage in various forms of cooperation and then negotiation. Okay. So if it is complex interdependence, it means that Dangote, okay, Dangote, who is a Nigerian, okay, if he's coming to set up factories in Ghana, because we have cordial relationship with the Nigerian government or Nigerians, it means that we should also give them the go ahead. Once upon a time, we also saw Glow, that mobile movement, technology. They came here. I don't know whether they still exist. Still have individuals who are producing cement. Okay, and I know that President Mohammed's brother Ibrahim Muhammad also has factories in other parts of Africa apart from Ghana. And this is complex interdependence, because when Gassen increased its cement prices, we were depending on diamond, what that was produced in Togo or somewhere around other countries. So competition became high, okay, because we also had alternative. Then we had a reduction of cement. If you don't have this competition in the country, then people use their monopolistic status to make the economy harsh. But because of interdependence, okay, complex interdependence, quickly they organize themselves and say that if you are not going to reduce the prices, then we are no more going to rely on you. So that's why when Gasem increased the prices, you go to the market, you see Dangote, you also see Jata. And so now cement prices have moved from 150 to 70 now. You can get cement at 70 cities. Okay, so all this is based on complex interdependence, so that individuals, when they have money and the rest, they can engage in all these. They are all actors of integration. So we cannot say that it's only the states, intergovernmental, that can negotiate. No, individuals within the countries can also ensure that we depend on each other, so that if there is uh, uh, the need. I remember Casapreco was raining high in Nigeria. Okay. Casapreco was raining high in Nigeria. I don't know what has come of it, but they were patronizing in Nigeria even more than in Ghana. And this is because the liquor was very good and the Nigerians also liked it. So it's all boils down to complex interdependence. So that if you can produce good palm wine, it means that you can also sell to other neighboring countries. Now, people are even selling apio in very nice packaging. Okay, so those who are able to produce this alcoholic need, can also ensure that there is smooth integration, where you can send all these goods and services across your country, and it's part of the complex interdependence when it comes to integration. Okay. Any questions before I move to the next slide?
Doc, please, on the issue of security, my worry is about these Chinese that they have been in this country for so long, degrading our environment. Doc, with where you sit, I don't know what the politicians are hiding from us. I've been watching Chinese movies and Chinese their documentaries. And you see they have a very beautiful water bodies. They have very beautiful ecosystem. The environment is not polluted like how they are doing to us. And I know that we, the Ghanaians, are aiding them as a country, looking at the future. And with this integration that you are teaching us today, what can we do to avoid this influx of Chinese? And it's like you arrest them today, tomorrow they are in the forest. Now come to Western region here, they are all over the villages in Western region. What should we do as a country, Doc?
The problem that we have here is that the land is not in state lands. It's not a state land. But when you go to other countries like Cote d'Ivoire and Guinea, a lot of the land is vested in the state. So it will be very difficult to give state lands to these foreigners. But in Ghana here, the chiefs and Abusiampani are custodians of the land. Okay, but even that is illegal for you to give land to foreigners to mine illegally. Okay, so seriously, as they campaigned that when they assume office, they were going to clamp down illegal mining. They should do so because Ghanaians are tired of these Chinese people destroying our water bodies. And seriously, in China, you cannot do that. They will just kill you. They will kill you because you are destroying their source of livelihood. Okay. I remember during Rawlings' time, they started before President Kufuor took over. Chinese came around, but the government chased them out. They were rushing from the country because people were targeting them with guns. And so they shot at them and they ran away. But the moment we had another government, then they invaded the country again. And they are finding means of integrating themselves into the community by marrying people within the community. And so if you are a cocoa farmer and a Chinese come to say that I'm marrying your daughter and then build on the land. As within the house, they are mining. And that is where the leaders must be bold. Okay. They must be bold and flash out this. But because of diplomacy, they are being cautious. And the caution is not good enough for us Ghanaians. Okay. It's not good for us Ghanaians. So I think that your concerns, the politicians, they know. But sometimes I wonder if the gold will not get finished. And someone says that the gold will never get finished. Once you are still in Ghana and the Europeans came in the 14th century, extracted a lot of gold, but still we still have gold. The land is big. And wherever you go in Ghana, you have gold. Okay, so why is it that the Omanhene of Techiman and other countries, Bono Manhene, is ensuring that Galamsey doesn't occur in his region. But Ashanti Kingdom, Galamsey is all over, and the western side, Galamsey is all over. So that is what I was telling you, that these chiefs are custodians of the land. And so if they don't sit up, look at Ocheman, go there and see. Galamsey is destroying even their backyard, a lot of Galamsey, because of how they also value the money. The chiefs should sit up because they are the custodians of the land, and the family heirs, they have right to the land. If they don't give to people to mine, there is no way they will destroy our water bodies. But here in Ghana, we are a liberal democratic governor. We are practicing liberal democracy. So you cannot just seize land from chiefs. Okay. Unlike countries like Cote d'Ivoire and then Guinea and other francophone countries where the land is in the state hands. You don't see this galamsey happening in those countries because it's not in the hands of individuals. So I think, like you are saying, though they are trying to control this illegal mine, it's not fulfilling at all. It's not um, encouraging at all. We still have water flowing through our pipes, appearing yellow. Still, the water, Ghana Water Limited, they are not able to purify this galamsey water. And it's killing a lot of people. Expectant mothers are suffering. Even condominium that we eat, cassava, everything is being affected by this galamsey. So even for me, I've even started planting a backyard condominium. So because I can't go to the market and buy all these things because it's contaminated with chemicals, lead, and all that. The leaders, okay, that's why we voted for them massively. They should sit up and ensure that they protect the people of the country if they will listen.
Okay,
Any more? Yeah, any more question? Yeah.
Prof, please, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
It's me, Emmanuel Boatin.
Okay.
Prof, uh, let's look at this whole scenario that we are discussing in this way. Is it not that we, the people in Ghana, are not sometimes serious, and then we worship the leaders and politicians to the extent that sometimes we are afraid to, air our grievances, and then let them know that at least they should serve our interests. Because looking at this in the LGBTQ plus, that when the NDC were in opposition, the way they were talking, it was as if when they come to this in government, they will only need 2 weeks to pass the law. And then also President Mahama, when he was in opposition, when the then government was busily doing everything possible to stop Galamsey, we had some people who were going to Galamsey sites. And then as soon as these people come, we saw that Akufo-Addo regime, we had some people like Untmi and Co who were also doing Galamsey. And now that these people have also taken over, we have had some people who are busily engaging in Galamsey activities to the extent that their national organizer, the one who looks like the Obroni, said that the president dare not to stop Galamsey. And we, the people, we think that they are serving our interests. Meanwhile, they are killing our next generation. So why should we sit there? And what can we also, the citizens of the country, do to stop these things? Because it seems that none of them will serve our interest. They all serve their interests.
Yes, it's true. It's like you are saying, how you are saying it, raising the concern, has been part of the everyday saying that we've been hearing in our radio stations. Eh, I think they are making some headway when it comes to clamping down this illegal mining. And at first, they were not having even the gold to sell outside. Now with the gold board in place, those who are mining, you have to sell the gold to the gold board before the gold board will sell outside. And so now they are not giving the opportunity for people to sell outside again. So it's now making the mining disinterested. So you walk around the town and you see that people have started selling their excavators. If you like, you notice, because they don't have, when they arrest you, you pay for it. Recently, we've heard that some robbers were killed. They had gun exchange with the police, and before the person passed on, he mentioned that they robbed some uh, mining company, illegal mining company, and so they were able to retrieve about 3 billion worth of gold from this facility. And so, though it's not so good and encouraging, you can see that they are trying their best to contain this illegal mining. Just that it's not fulfilling to what we wanted to see. Okay, as the Professor Nana mentioned, that I think I'm talking about the Chief Executive Officer of Environmental Protection Authority. She has been championing that once the president is able to give them a lot of drones and ammunitions with military men, they will be able to clamp down these illegal miners. And we've also noticed that there are some results that we've noticed. Just that the people were saying that the 8 people who died during the plane clash, the president should have taken that opportunity to declare a state of emergency. But now there is a law. There is a law that you cannot mine in the forest. During the previous administration, they had given license for people to mine in the forest. Just imagine that a government that people have voted for will go to the extent of issuing licenses and making laws so that people will mine in the forest. See, that is why I always say that democracy, we are still consolidating it. Now that you've experienced some leadership, okay, we have experienced the kind of leadership. Anytime we are going to the polls, we'll think twice before we vote for some kind of people who have some mindset. You are saying that Yamin, that organizer, that Obroni person you are saying, is it alleged or you heard him saying it? Because if You heard him saying it like he said it in the radio. People
Uh,
will have to, yes, people will have to,
the video. I have the video now on my phone,
yes, you
and then
people will have to, yes, people will have to
I,
take
wa-
him
I,
on.
wa- I was at that meeting when he said that.
You see, people will have to take him on because Galamsey is not the best. People, I mean, people have different mindsets. People were even saying that we can use the Galamsey site as tourist sites. You see how myopic some people can be. We have a lot of people in this country who don't have the country at heart. How can you say that Galamsey cannot be bad because we can even use the site at tourist centers? I mean, just imagine. So the way you are concerned, the same way I'm also concerned because throughout the pipe, throughout the tubes, I'm having water that is brown, which I don't want. I don't want to be seen for the next 5 years. I wish I will have clear water. Okay. So I'm concerned like you are, and we pray that the leaders will listen to us, and at least the laws that they are put in place will help. The issue is that when you are practicing democracy, you cannot do things anyhow. That's why I was saying that in China, they will just shoot you and kill you. But in Ghana, we are using the laws. That is why sometimes they arrest people, they send them to the courts, and if the person is able to pay the bail bond, then the person is released. Unless it's so devastating that they will say that, okay, we have seen that you have destroyed vast lands of land, so we are not going to give you bail. During the even swearing in ceremony, didn't you see Minister for Natural Resources, Kofi Amabua, crying on the television? We thought that they were coming to revolutionize the fight for Galamsey, but look, and I'm saying that even when we go to the polls now, the president will not get the 57% that he had because most of the promises that they promised, they have not been able to fulfill it. You not get the 57 because they are not fulfilling the promises that they made to for Ghanaians to vote for them. And we are praying, at least, I mean, compared to the previous government and this one, under this regime, we are seeing improvement. Even if the gold is being exploited, gold board is recording massive in gains so that they use the gains to develop the country and they are no more going to IMF. Just imagine that within this period, we have been able to gain more than 10 billion. Meanwhile, previous governments, they were going to IMF for 3 billion. So where was the money? Individuals were pocketing, and an individual politician who have $3 billion in his accounts. Look at the 100 million, 200 million sky train and that an individual pocketed. Okay, so politicians are our bane when it comes to development, and so we the people, we have given them the mandate. It means that we have to ensure that they pay for whatever uh, uh, they do to our resources, and we'll continue to campaign against illegal mining. So uh, we are all free from these chemicals and exploitation. Because, like you said, sustainable development, when we talk about sustainable development, we are talking about sustaining the environment so that we don't compromise what the future generation will gain. Gaining what is present without compromising what the future generation will gain. That is sustainable development. And so this current administration must know the essence of sustainable development and then ensure that the people of the country gain, and the next generation or generation yet unborn will also gain when we are no more. Okay, when we are no more on this earth. There's no way the world will come to an end. And so the resources that we have to guard against exploitation, against destruction. Because last administration, people were even now, people continue to import water. People import water and drink in this country. They continue to import water and drink in this country. And
Prof,
is it yes? Yeah.
is uh, is regional integration all that important? Because it seems we are talking about only the good sides of the regional integration, but looking at some of the bad things happening in Ghana, like kidnapping, armed robbery, and stuffs, and then even the galamsey that we are talking about, it seems it was imported. So the country which has a lot of development in it, I mean, integrating with a less developed country, what are some of the consequences that country stand to, I mean, get?
Of course, there wouldn't be 100% beneficial, but it's better than none. Okay, it's better than none because, like we mentioned, complex interdependence. There are things that may be in Nigeria, but we may not have them in Ghana. Okay, there may be things that may be in Cote d'Ivoire, we may not be having them in Ghana. There were things that in Burkina or Mali or Niger, it may not be in Ghana. So if you don't form agreements with these countries that have goods that you don't have, how are you going to survive? How are you going to survive? So despite the fact that we have influx of um, citizens from other countries who commit crimes like kidnapping and others, you cannot be an island. Okay, you cannot be an island. True integration is like human being. You cannot say that because of these, you stay, you don't befriend. At least you have to choose your friends the same way the countries they choose. You can't just be integrating with anything. Okay, and we are talking about the regional bloc. Okay, within the African continent, we have South African, we have the East African, we have the North African, okay, and we have the West African. So these blocks, when they see that, oh, whatever I have, I can share with my friend on a price so that I gain something to develop my country. It's best. So there are some disadvantages which we will continue to read as we continue to discuss through the slides.
You.
So let's have a short break, maybe 10 minutes, and then we'll come back to continue. Okay, time is up. We can continue. Or the rest, where are they?
Doc, I'm prompting them on the platform.
Okay.
Hello, Doc.
Hello. Yeah.
Yes, Doc, please,
Okay.
before we start, this question that I
Okay.
want you to help me out, it's about
Okay.
the unemployment rate in this country. I know that you have traveled a lot outside, but I want to find out that those overseas, do the government um, establish or do they embark on industrialization, or like manufacturing is basically in the hands of the private individual? Because I have seen that government has come and go, but as a country, we can't embark on industrialization. And most of these international relations through cooperation that we have, we could have spoken to those Chinese or the Russia to help us build factories for the youth. But it's like, apart from Kwame Nkrumah that we say that he built so many factories, that in, what do you call it, where I stay in Western region, we had some in Takwa, we have some in Axin, being a bamboo factory. When you go to Eziema, Nkrumah gave us an oil factory, then Takwa I learned glass factory or rubber factory at Bonsa. But it's like government has come and go, and we can't embark on industrialization so that the youth will be able to get job to do. Now that there is this TVET that it has been introduced into our curriculum, that the our junior brothers are learning vocational skills and technical skills, they will end up in the offices. So I don't know whether in Europe industrialization is in the hands of the government or private enterprise. Thank you.
A lot of the factories and industrialization are in the hands of the private sector, especially in democratically elected governance system,
Okay.
because they also believe in liberalism. They believe in free trade. And so even when you want to secure a visa or a permanent residence in any of these advanced countries, being Canada, being Australia, being UK, or being it US, they want you to show big capitalization that you are coming to open. So that's why we have economic visa. They want to know whether you are coming in to establish business for the economy to boost.
Okay.
So a lot of all these businesses are in the hands of private sector, not the government.
Okay.
And the government also collaborates with these people so that probably if the government will get a share, then fine. But most often they are in the hands of private sectors. That is why when they want to give permanent residence, they want this organization to show that they are in need of labor. So you have to publish the role that you want to employ people in so that the government through the permanent residency will give the visa to the employee that you want to employ, because they know that once the employee is coming to the country, he is going to provide a skill to provide or to improve the economy. So most often, these manufacturing organization and others are in the private sectors. That is what we can do, and that is why they always make the environment friendly for other people to come. Blue Skies in Atinsawam that produces these drinks, pineapple juice and other things. It's in the private sector, it's not. That's why they also have free zones. If you are coming to establish a factory and you get opportunity, they will introduce you to free zones where you have tax rebates. So if you set up these companies within that areas, then you'll be given some tax rebates. Mhm. That is why before they handed over power to the current NDC, there were some kind of 300,000 companies. 300,000 companies that we had wanted tax reliefs, and then this government said no. A lot of them are Ghanaians. A lot of them are Ghanaians. They are not foreign companies, and so they are just asking the foreign companies to fund them. So if uh, they are saying that they want tax reliefs, no, unless they come back well. And so they are encouraging. Just that a lot of things that we are buying, they have produced them cheap in China. And because of liberalization, a lot of people are importing a lot of things into the country. So before you set up this factory, you have to also be strict when it comes to importation. Because a lot of things that you want to manufacture is manufactured cheaply in China and people are importing. So what do you want to manufacture? And remember, these goods that even the local producers they produce is very expensive than the foreign ones, the imported ones. Yeah. Look at the chicken that we import. Very big and less expensive compared to the poultry that we have in Ghana. Very expensive. Even the feeding, poultry feed, is also very expensive. And so, in order for the country to be able to be free of this, they have to also disassociate themselves from IMF. That's what we've heard, that the current government is making preparation to disassociate itself from IMF, because IMF, before you give you the 3 billion, you give you conditionalities. Conditionalities in the sense that you are not going to give any subsidies to the farmers. You are not going to give subsidy, because if you are giving subsidy, it's free. And the condition of IMF, you don't have to do that. Okay. And the condition also is that allow That is deregulation. Allow free markets. Allow free markets. You, the government, allow the private sector to also flow in the economy. You, the government, you don't have to also employ more. So there is still embargo on employment. At the university level, we need a lot of lecturers, but because of the embargo that the IMF says, don't use our money to pay your employees. And so there is a condition, and the government will not be able to do that. But the moment, okay, the moment, that is what we are talking about. These countries that the military has taken over, they don't have anything to do with IMF. So the money that they are generating in their economy, they are establishing the factories and manufacturing plants to engage the people. But the greediness on the part of politicians, okay, just imagine, just less than 1 year, Gold Board has been able to secure $10 billion. Meanwhile, we were going to IMF for 3 billion. Ken Oforiatta has taken all the money and then is staying outside. He doesn't want to come and account for it. So it's the leadership. Leadership. Recently, you've seen that, or you heard that President Mahana says he's going to take the country to another level where no one will bring it down again. People were saying that that is what NDC, during the PNDC, they should have done. If they had been able to review the constitution and made it so stringent that there wouldn't be any loophole for a politician to amass himself worth, then the people of Ghana would have enjoyed. Okay, so probably let's wait and see. After 4 years, let's see whether they set up a lot of factories, and that is what we call import substitution industrialization. Import substitution industrialization. That is establishing a lot of factories so that you don't import more. Okay, so that you don't import more. That's why people have been saying buy made in Ghana goods and stuff. Remember, we used to have Akoko Daku, Kamana Daku. Kamana Daku was manufacturing chicken for the country, producing a lot of eggs, and what happened? The moment people started importing a lot of these chicken products and even the egg, people import egg to this country. So with the Nkukwan Ketingeti and then other things, I think one day Ghana will also be proud like Nigeria. Nigeria does not allow any importation of rice or chicken into the country. No. The government is giving or supporting local producers with a lot of subsidies to produce more for the local consumption. Okay. But in Ghana, yeah, what happened in the previous years? NDC came and then gave free fertilizer. When MPP came, we had a lot of ministers hoarding these fertilizers in their wholesale. Even when NDC took over, people saw the hoarding. So politicians and the leaders that we choose, someone said, we Ghanaians, it's us, oh, it's us. And so Mr. Kofi Amoabin will say that we have good, we have this, but if the mindset, if you don't change the mindset, there's no way. You see that a Ghanaian has all the money that he has, but still, you engage in corruption. A lot of nurses steal a lot of good medicine from the hospitals and then sell outside. Some doctors have established their own hospital. And when a patient comes to the government hospital, they will refer you to their hospital so that they will operate you there and collect the money. They will even tell you that there is no insurance. So meanwhile, the government is running all these for us, but individuals are managing all these. So if the individuals do not become fair and transparent, how are we going to survive? That is why they should ensure that the laws work. When the laws work, I think those who are corporate or corrupt officials will be dealt with, and then Ghana will have development status for people to also improve their living condition. Any more questions? Ernest, maybe Ernest, yeah. Left, I think the network. Ernest, the network was bad, so you left.
Okay, Doc, thank you so much.
Okay, so the next one, the last one was complex interdependence, where we mentioned individuals, culture, and all of this. So next one is comparative regionalism. Okay, this approach involves comparing regional integration processes, institutions to identify the similarities, differences, and lessons that can inform our understanding of regional integrations, evolution, and functions. Okay, so comparative regionalism. So how does the Southern Bloc, made up of South Africa, Botswana, and then Zimbabwe, and what have you, how are they integrating? And how can ECOWAS also learn how they are doing to improve ours? So that is comparative regionalism. Seeing what is happening in the southern part and then looking the similarities and then the differences and how best it can also help you. That is comparative regionalism. You compare the various differences and then lessons that they learn so that we all have. Once upon a time, Britain and UK, they were part of the European Union. What happened? The lessons that other blocs have learned. How come Britain also opted out? Is it because of the monetary issues? Is it because the pound was not appreciating? Okay. Is it because of immigration? That's because of the EU bloc. A lot of people from the European countries were flooding to United Kingdom. So we learn all these similarities and differences, and then you use that as a lesson to also integrate. So it's also model of regional integration. Then we have the stages of integration. Some models propose stages or levels of integration, such as the stages of economic integration. free trade area, customs union, common market, economic union, outlined by the European integration process. So, like I mentioned, if you are talking about European Union, then you learn much about what they are doing. Then you also adapt the good processes or positive processes in your case. These models illustrate the progressive nature of integration, showing increasing levels of cooperation and integration among member states. These theories and models offer different insights into the dynamics, motivation, and mechanism involved in regional integration. They help policymakers, scholars, and analysts understand the complexity and factors influencing the process of integration within economics or specific regions around the world. So you see, knowledge has already been created and people are basing their development on this knowledge. So people will say you don't reinvent the wheel. You look at what others have done and they have succeeded, and then you also import such positive effects on yourself. Okay. So when you do that, then it means that you are also learning and also adapting. Okay. So before we continue, let me hear from you. Can you set some questions from what you've learned today? Let's hear you certain questions. What question can you set from what you've learned today? Yes, Gideon.
Doc, please, mine is not. I want to ask a question before the questions come
Okay.
in. I want to ask a
Okay.
question. So before you go into an integration, you must have a mindset or benefit you are going to get. So in case you don't get the benefit, you can decide to opt out. And that is very good.
Yes, yes, that is it. Yes. Yes, you can do that. That is why the maybe the other not when they wanted to do this monetary integration, what is having same currency, the eco. Some people were not ready because they were relying on the CFA franc, and we Ghana we also dependent on our CD. Another country also depend on the other ones, and so those in the francophone countries and those in the anglophone countries, they were not in agreement, and so that is why we still don't have the eco, because the exchange rate. Look at even Nigeria, and look at our Nigerian naira and the Ghanaian cedi. The Ghanaian cedi is even a pound to the Nigerian naira. Okay, so the Nigerians, they bring goods from Nigeria and come and sell them in Ghana and get a lot of money. And so when you say that let's do one currency, the Nigerian politicians, even when I have your cedi, I have 100 cedis, I can feed my children for more than 3 months, the poor one. And then you say let's do similar currency, then I think I will be shortchanged. There will be some disagreements. Okay. So that is why sometimes it takes diplomacy, negotiations, and institutions, mechanisms in place to ensure that the other party benefits. You too, you benefit. No one is going to be cheated. No one is going to feel shortchanged. Okay. So integration is not easy to come by, but um, sometimes you have to look at whether the person is going to gain or is not going to gain. Any more question?
Doug, please, I believe that the echo issue that you said, um, I think it's the issue of we being Africans, because I think that in Europe, it's not only a country that spends or uses the dollar or the euro. It's maybe one or two, three, four countries that, but when it comes to Africa, it's like we are so adamant and it's like we are so archaic. And that's my worry. Because once the white one, two, three countries have come together that okay, we want to spend euro, others want to spend dollar, it has been achievable. It has been possible for them. But the Africans, we still say no. No.
Yes, that is what I'm saying. All boils down to leadership. The literacy rate is high. People are also not ready to communicate and educate and sensitize the people. So just imagine a whole national NCC. NCC is unable to organize, sensitization programs for Ghanaians. We used to have vans going around educating the rural people what even the governance system we are practicing. But the politician will wait till election time and then go around to campaign. But what about NCC? They are supposed to educate the people, sensitize them, educate them, make them understand the governance system, and even the policies that the government have formulated. How many people understand the policies? To the extent that even when you go to your workplace, the conditions of service that you are supposed to benefit, they will not call you and tell you. If you don't ask, they will not call you and tell you. That is what I initially said, that if we don't change our mindset, National Commission for Civic Education, how much money are they given to educate or sensitize Ghanaians to understand their rights, the policies, the new policies that the government has formulated, the laws that the parliament has enacted? How many times have you seen NCC educate Ghanaians? So, like you said, our mindset, we don't know anything, and then we also don't read. When you go to social media, all the things that you see Ghanaians showing are funny things, food, and you don't see substance in whatever we portray, because a lot of them are illiterate. Okay, a lot of them are illiterate, and the Ghana government is not also ready to uh, give a lot of resources to National Commission for Civic Education to educate and sensitize Ghanaians what is going on. Okay, and they are there. A lot of people go outside, study, come out, and when they bring new ideas, they are being sabotaged. Their leaders, those that they come to meet, we have a term called Mibahache. Those who are there already wouldn't want you to implement what you have. I know a lecturer who schooled or had her education in the US. Okay. When she came down, she said that before you gain promotion, You have to even seek for grants, grant proposal, write a lot of grant proposal and seek funding from people before you even get promotion. He wanted to introduce in his department. They told her that don't bring this thing here at all because we are hard up. But he was trying to encourage people to learn how to write proposal, a grant proposal, and win money for their department. But the Ghanaian wanted to remain the way he wants to remain. And so that idea was shut down. Okay. So it's leadership. If you want to put something on and then people start to pull your legs, blackmail you, accuse you unnecessarily, then you'll be disheartened and discouraged. That is a lot of things that we are having here. You've seen a lot of businesses collapsing. Look at I mentioned Kofi Amobi, this military retired military.
Funds. Yeah.
Yes.
Funds.
Yes. He came and then established
UT Bank. The UT Bank.
Yes. He was giving. Yes, he was giving loans to people, and then he had people who were going around to collect this money. People were having a lot of money from the bank and establishing businesses. But what happened? Same, his own people ganged against him. So in Ghana, only the brave and the bold will stand firm when it comes to businesses. You've also heard about this man, Macaulay.
Yes.
He has also been talking about how employees dupe him. You put some people there, you make them heirs, and then they collaborate and then dupe you with your money. Is that what we want to develop the country? That is why the whites, when they see blacks, they don't respect us at all because they know we don't have good mindset. So they always abuse us. And just imagine, the white will come to Ghana, establish a factory. The white will want to pay you $2,000. You, the same Ghanaian man will say, no, make it 2,000 cedis, not dollars. Okay? So it's our mindset. It's our mindset. If I don't know how we can change this. I don't know how we can change. And wherever we are, it follows us. Wherever you meet a Ghanaian, the situation that he carries from Ghana, he exhibits the same situation outside Ghana. Same situation outside Ghana. The same thing when you go to outside and you even want a rent apartment and you've seen your colleague Ghanaian and you want to pitch, the person says no. But then the Nigerian will be ready to receive his Nigerian brother. But I don't blame the Ghanaian because he knows your mind. You come there and before long, you have organized for him to be deported. It's our mindset. So everybody is saying that, okay, let me also think about myself. Let me also think about myself. And we are there. Okay. So unless we change our mindset and unless the politician also start to educate the people, be transparent. Next week, we'll talk about good governance. Next week will be our last week. So tomorrow, I'll sit down and set all the questions for your quizzes and your exam. That's why I wanted you to ask some questions so that I put down. And so I'll add to the questions so that if at least you don't even get anything, the questions you set in class, you see it, you have it. Okay. Next week will be last week, and then Festus has started again. Festus has started again, and the noise. Okay, and so that is it. And so in your homes, don't be like the Ghanaian. Be transparent with your partner, your family. And the issue is that when you are good, then the people take advantage of you, and then use you. That is why some Ghanaians, I don't blame them. It's a culture. You blackmail you one. Before you become aware, you are deported. But the Nigerian will not do that. They will even protect you. And the Ghanaian, no. You go and report you, and then you will be deported. So it's our mindset. I don't know the kind of woman who gave birth to us. But the moment you go outside, you learn and you see how people relate, how people love themselves, especially the Indians. Oh, when you have Indian friend, they love themselves. And the Jews, you meet them and you see that yes, they love themselves very much. The Ghanaian, oh, some even take some people's wives. He knows that this is my friend's wife. The Ghanaian will go and take and date that wife. You have all traveled from Ghana and you have entered to somebody's territory. Instead of you to protect your friend's wife, you go and date your friend's wife. A lot of things are happening. Okay, but we have the knowledge, we have the wisdom, we have a whole commission to educate us. A lot of immigration issues are on the net, but how do we have a commission, a whole commission educating us how Ghanaians should live outside? But when you go to Australia and you go to other advanced countries, we have even lawyers educating a lot of people in that country how to live in this country, how to live in this country. These are the laws that this country have established. These are policies that you have to ensure that you survive in this country. Last time I was telling you about, I was on a platform when they said that female genital mutilation is in Ghana, and so that country's government should grant permanent residence to the person. And I was on the platform and I told them that, please, this country, they are knowledgeable. They know what is happening in Ghana. Okay, so don't use female genital mutilation as an excuse that they should give you permanent residence to stay here. No, don't do that. They removed me from the platform because I told the truth. There is no legal basis in female genital mutilation in Ghana. When you perform female circumcision, you'll be arrested and jailed. I told them, but they didn't want to hear the truth. They still went ahead and used female genital mutilation. The government did not give them. They told them that they know that in Ghana, female genital mutilation is illegal. So you see, if they had even had an open-minded debate and listened to me, and then understand that this is the year that they passed the law, this is so and so, and then they go positively that, hey, if this is the case, then we cannot use it. But because I was telling the truth, they think that I was being unfair to them. So they removed me from the platform. So that is the Ghanaian for you. He doesn't want truth. Okay, so until we are sensitized, until we are open for discussion, until we enforce the law for people to see how the law is applied, a lot of people will continue to, do bad things and have that kind of mentality. Look at the politicians. We talk about aura and other things. Aura, cause yeah. All the time, Kofuriata. What about the rest? Leave Ofuriata and concentrate.
Doc, even though I learned that some people are even bargaining behind the scene.
That one, if they bargain and they pay, that is fine, because I think it was part of the Attorney General's conditions that if they notice that you have chopped some money and you are ready to pay, then this is the money that they want. You come and pay. But where you want to deny, and that when they bring it to your notice, you want to deny, that is where they will arrest you, like those in the national service scandal. Okay, the lady, when they even read the charges to her, I think he heard it on radio and other things before they were building the dossier on her. He went to radio and be saying all kinds of things. Okay, and so that led to her arrest. Okay, so people are doing backdoor negotiation, all right, and then they wanted to collect the money. That is the most important thing they wanted to do. So that is that. Yeah, let me take this call. I'll get back to you.
And please, Prof. Hello.
Yeah, Nima, he's on a phone call. He said he's answering a call. He'll be back.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much for your audience. So somebody was on the line. I think Emmanuel wanted to talk.
Yes, please. I have even forgotten my question. I didn't write it down, but but Prof, is it fair for people who have, offended and used dubious means to dupe the state to negotiate with them to pay it back? And then also we have people that are angry and they only steal maybe cassava and plantain, and those people are jailed. Is it fair? What
Yeah,
what are what are we doing to ourselves as a people?
but the issue is that corruption, as we know, is using the office, the public office that you are holding, to amass wealth for private gain. Okay, so when it happens, it wouldn't be you alone. That is the issue. It wouldn't be you alone. There are some documentation. This one will push it to this one. So you see that they will trace, before they will get to know, a lot of people are involved. And so what do they have to do? The president once said that He doesn't want to hear anybody being tagged when it comes to corruption. So now that they are knowing the extent to which corruption can go, they are arming themselves. Recently, when you hear about Dr. Tofosin, he says that before an organization will spend money, it must be approved by the finance, Ministry of Finance, through him. At first, it wasn't like that. Once they give the budget and they approve the budget, that's all. Then they start spending to the extent that they even overspend. Okay, they even overspend. So now they are putting in place mechanism, and I'm happy that now we haven't seen any minister being tagged of corruption, because they have all signed the code of conduct of a public servant. Recently, when we heard Collins Dowda and another honorable member being accused of engaging in galamsey, what happened? What happened? People lambasted him, and he had to come out with the lawyer. He was even arrested. He was even asked to come and answer questions. And so the lawyer has to clarify issue that what happened in the media was not what actually happened on the ground. So everybody is alert. Everybody must be alert. Okay, during the elections, that is where people got to know, because now this government is challenging the previous government to come to power, because he was rejected in 2016. And now that you want to come in 2024, it means you have to do extraordinary work. So they open up for people to know what is actually happening. At first, they because they were politicians, they were just closing up. Why is it that they review the constitution during Dr. Akwete's time? NDC, why didn't they implement the recommendation? But now, when they came, they reviewed the constitution, and then they are ready to implement. That is the consolidation of our democracy. Like we are talking about the thieves and other things, a lot of things are happening. And so when they arrest you barehanded, then you know that they have arrested you. But corruption is the office they are using to amass wealth. You've heard about this man who was executive officer at EPA, Dr. Mustafa Hamid. You saw the list of items that the OSP and others mentioned. And he wanted to go to Canada, but his passport has been confiscated. His passport has been confiscated. He can't go. He has to answer all the questions that has to be answered before you'll be free. So it means that now politicians are now ready to correct the mistakes that they remember during the NDC time before 2016. What happened? And NDC time now. Have you seen the difference? So it's a part of consolidating our democracy. When you are arrested by going to cut somebody's plantain, and people arrest you, in some communities they will make you carry the plantain and you parade through the community, and people will get to know you. All the girlfriends that you propose to, they will get to know you. Oh, this guy, so you were a thief. Oh, this woman, so you were a thief. So they are also going the traditional way and then shaming people. And so we have many ways of addressing these issues, but the constitution is clear. The constitution is clear. When you steal somebody's phone, how many years you are supposed to go. When you steal somebody's plantain, how many years you are supposed. So the lawyers and the judges, they are going according to the constitution and the laws. The same thing. That is why recently people proposed that we should have a tribunal so that we track the corrupt officials fast. It doesn't go to the other court system to delay justice. Okay. Recently, we've heard about Amir Kunfi. I don't know whether he's been able to pay his bill amount or been able to giving out. So the politicians, those that have been arrested, look at the way Ontumi is suffering. And if you are doing your own politician like that, do you think that you have the leeway to also be corrupt? No. So we are heading somewhere, and gradually we'll get there. That's my hope. So those politicians who at first went into amass wealth, they are thinking again whether to go in or stay back. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Any more questions? I want everyone to set one question. I'll bring that question in the exam. So even if you don't get any question, ask for your question, you get it right. So give me one question before you go.
Mention one importance of regional integration.
Okay. One importance of regional integration. Yeah.
Yes, please.
Regional integration, it will come. So go and read around it.
Thank you.
Yes, okay. And who else?
When the time comes, we will plead your indulgence to give us the areas.
The areas is the one you are giving to me. It's the same thing that will come. I will not change it.
Okay.
Yes. So who else is ready to give me more? Mm-hmm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have about 8 people here. So I need 8 questions, please. Yes. Amenyona Kwame, give me one question. Kwame, give me one question.
But my place is very noisy. I'm really sorry. I can't give the question now.
Okay, you tell me something. Give me one concept. I'll formulate a question from it. What did you hear?
Okay, so today we talked about levels of regional integration.
Okay, so levels of regional integration. Okay, good. It will come. Okay, Ajay Francis, give me one. Ajay Francis, let's hear you. Okay. End time, let's hear you. End time, let's hear you.
Doctor, please, I'm now formulating it.
Okay. Ajay Francis, are you done? Let's hear you. Festus, give me one question.
Doc, I will talk about the actors that makes up the regional integration.
Okay, what are they?
We talk about countries, NGOs, we talk about the sovereign state itself. Those are the actors.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Yes, end time.
Hello, Prof.
Yes, talk, please. Yeah.
Please, my question, if you permit me to ask this question.
Please ask the question.
Please, I have heard from some people that those people like uh, the people that make up Commonwealth, like this, the regional integration, that when they form association, they pay dues. They pay dues, and the dues are sometimes used to run the day-to-day administration. And then, may I know if it is true that they pay dues? What do they do to the defaulters? And then the country that is not able to pay the what they do is what do they do to them? Do they expect the country or what?
Oh, as for the regional integration, they have rules and regulations. Okay,
Yeah.
they have rules and regulations. So if they have also have sanctions. If they
Okay.
are supposed to pay dues and they don't pay, those who don't pay, they have sanctions. So I don't think it is so stringent to the extent that they have to expel you. No, 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 no. They will give
Okay.
you conditions for you to fulfill those conditions, and that is that. And they have diplomats, negotiators, who also
Okay.
ensure that these regional bodies run well. Okay. And
Okay.
so even when the time comes for you to pay dues, they will contact you and
Okay.
then remind you that probably the time has come for you to pay those dues. And even if uh, the dues, you can even give it as a humanitarian assistance.
Okay.
Okay. For
Mm.
instance, if there is a war and you have been able to receive these refugees, they will look at all the expenses that you've incurred when you go for ECOWAS meeting. That's why we have ECOWAS Parliament.
Okay.
If there are any sanctions, they will pronounce that. Recently, they said that they had removed Afenyo Markin from representative to represent Ghana in ECOWAS Parliament.
Okay.
He went without the government approval, and when he went, the chair of the or the speaker of the parliament said that until he leaves, he was not going to accept Ghanaian delegation into the parliament. You see, it's a sanction. And
Okay.
so they set up, they sent him to privileges committee in parliament to answer questions why he went without approval from the government.
Okay.
So they have their own laws, they have their own agreements, and so everybody must fulfill those agreements. During the MPP time, if an NDC member is not selected to represent them in the ECOWAS parliament, the person shouldn't go. And I didn't hear any NDC member going. Afanyo
Okay.
Markin was the representative. That is why he instigated for the Chief Justice, the ex-Chief Justice, he instigated for her to also appeal to the ECOWAS Parliament regarding her removal. Okay, so they have rules, agreements, treaties, and goals, and they strictly go by that, so that no one becomes above the law.
Thank you.
Okay, so are you not ready to give me the questions?
Doctor, please, I'm ready.
Okay, then give it to me.
Explain why your country should join relations like the ECOWAS.
Okay, so
Importance of region.
why joining? Why Ghana should join ECOWAS?
Yes.
Okay, that is fine. Who else? Ajay Francis, are you ready for your question? If you are ready, mention it and let me write it down because it will come in the exams. Who is ready? Who is ready? No one wants to mention his question so that somebody will get it right. Hey, Ghanaian.
Doctor, please, I want to bring up a question like what accounted for Nigerian troops defending the Benin from their recent coup d'etat? Then
What accounted? Is that what?
Or what agreement accounted for Nigerian troops defending the Benin from their recent coup d'etat?
Okay. What
A,
accounted? Yeah.
A, security agreement.
Yeah, security agreement. You know, Benin is also part of the ECOWAS.
Yes.
He's also a member.
Yes.
And so if Benin is under siege,
Yes.
he can extend a hand to a member state, Nigeria, whose military might is big or strong, and then they will intervene. It's in the right direction. Okay, because remember, they didn't want to hear successful coup again, like it happened in Burkina and Mali or Niger. And so probably after that, they have renegotiated or agreed that when you see a coup coming, quickly make a distress call and then we'll intervene. So that is what happened.
Okay.
We even heard that apart from Nigeria, another country, I think France, that's what they are saying, because Benin is under France. So they also came in quickly to foil the overthrow. Okay.
Thank
you. So we can call it a day. It's almost 3:30. We can call it a day, and then we meet next week. Next week, I think, will be the last week, right? Next week will be the last week for the semester. Okay, so
Dog.
Yes.
Dog, I believe a colleague was asking you about areas, and he said the areas are what we are discussing. But
yes.
Dog, to be we just want areas to be specific. We know we are treating the whole of unit 1 to 4, but when you restrict us, then we can put in our best. We are just pleading. We beg you. Last semester wasn't easy, so this semester we played that you take us easy, you take it easy with us. We played with you.
What easy do you want me to do? I've taught you. Tell me the questions you want me to bring. You are keeping quiet. What else do you want me to do?
Look, these are objectives, and objectives we are abreast with it. We've given you some. We are pleading with you.
I can set even essay questions from all these things. So that's why I'm saying that. Give me what you've learned from me, so that I set questions from them. Meanwhile, you are quiet. What else do you want me to do? This one, don't blame me, Festus, because I'm saying I've taught you. Give me the questions you want me to bring in the exams. You are keeping quiet. What areas do you need again? I mean, Ernest, you are the class rep. I mean, reason with me and let's move on.
Yes, Doc.
I've taught you. I've given you slides. Give me the questions you want to see in the exams. You are keeping quiet. Now, which areas do you want me to give to you? It's like giving you have a pet. You have given all kinds of food to the pet, and now you have started the food down, and you are asking the pet to choose the food that he wants. The pet is looking at you. Hey, what else do you want to do?
Because the first three try.
I don't know if I got his question right. I think you'll be doing first end of term and the same quiz. So I think he was asking you for the area for the first quiz. Maybe we need 1 and we need 2 for the first quiz. Then you go for the end of term, then the second quiz will follow. You should concentrate on those areas for quiz 1.
And then that is why I'm saying that the questions I've already given it to them. So all that I have to do is that use this one for unit 1, use this for unit 2. After listening to you today, and now you still don't want to talk. What else do you want me to do? Because if you yourself, you cannot set the question, because I gave you some assessment in the first slide, and you haven't read to even tell me what questions you are expecting in the exams, then I don't understand what else I can do. Okay? In the previous courses, I asked them, set objective questions for me. Those who were having time and set the questions, I rephrased these questions and gave it back to them. As simple as that. We have learned, we have studied, we have discussed, we have asked questions. Now, give it back to me for me to set questions for you. You don't want to do it. So it means you're giving me...
next semester. I'm afraid
So that is that. Festus, I am wild. Okay, so on that note, we'll say bye-bye, and then have a wonderful... I asked Francis Ajay to even give me one question. He didn't give it to me. I asked Amenyona Kwame to give me one. He says he's in the traffic, noisy place. What else do you want me to do? I'll bring all the things that you've told me here in the exams.
Doctor, please, do you mean the previous slides too? You should set questions on the previous slides too.
That is what I'm saying. I said that we have self-assessment. The self-assessment try as much as possible to respond the self-assessment. And when you do that, definitely it will come in the exam. So for the first 2 slides that you've had, all the self-assessment questions will come in the first piece that you do. And then we have the subsequent slides that we are teaching now. That will comprise the main exams and the objectives. Give me that one so that I'll set and send to them. That one you don't want to give. So,
Doc, thank you. Doc, thank you. All that we wanted to hear from you, you said it. Thank you so much. We are grateful.
So let's call it
questions so that we will see the type of question that we should be asking.
Mr. Boateng, what were you saying?
Please, I was asking if you can kindly, let us see some of the past questions, previous questions that they had. So
you don't know the don't they put the past questions for you to learn? They don't give it to you?
No, I have not seen one.
No, Doc, we've not seen some before.
Oh, okay. So next week, the first 15 minutes, I'll project the question that I give to them to you to see how I set the questions. So
Doc, please, can you share with us?
I won't share. I will just project and then we all go through. So thank you very much. Enjoy your day. Bye-bye.
Festus.
Yo. Who is calling Festus?
Please,
those of you who have the slides Dr. posted, please share it with us.
Those who are having the slides, please share it with us, please.
Yeah,
please, the second lecture slides, I don't have it. Please, someone should kindly post it onto the platform. Thank you.
Yes, that is what I'm saying. They should share it for those of us who don't have.
If you have any past questions, you can kindly share with us. Yeah. Okay, thank you. We'll be waiting for it. Ozetu, I'll take a course. I'll figure out to Bye.